I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We're disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's keep firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Hey, Rooted Men, good morning. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries, just making sure I've got my my sound and everything right. I think I do. I'm not muted. Let's see. I think we've got Ed Pila right there. We've got Bert Reggiani right there. I believe that we have, yep, there's Ken Gooch, Brian Vlaming, and someone just bopped in at the end. Let's, come on, phone, come on. Tony Agro, there he is right there. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end of the book of Hebrews. I hope that the study's been a blessing to you. Just got two verses to share with you. Hebrews 13, verses 15 and 16. Through Jesus, therefore, let us continually offer to God a sacrifice of praise. Well, we're not doing sacrifices anymore. So what might he be talking about, right? He's using Hebrew language. He's talking to people who know Jewish customs. And he's saying, now that we're believers in Jesus, through Jesus, therefore, let us continuously offer to God a sacrifice of praise. A sacrifice. It's an act of worship. But sacrifice is also giving up something. So he says, the fruit of lips to confess his name. That we would sacrifice and make sure that Jesus' name is on our lips, to make sure that when we have opportunity, we're sharing and caring for someone, that we're willing to sacrifice time, talents, treasures in the moment to be Jesus to someone. We keep saying, let someone see Jesus in us today. Well, it comes when we're willing to sacrifice portions of our everyday and not live them out to our agenda, but see that maybe God has an agenda in there. And he goes on to say, and do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased. And I remember that this is one of the first 30-some years ago when I was a pastor at Firmly Rooted Greendale, we had verse themes of the year. And this was one of the verses that we did in one of the years that I was there. Don't forget to do good and share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased. See, it takes a sacrifice. To love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, love your neighbor as yourself. That you wake up not serving yourself, but you wake up serving the kingdom of God. And while you're doing the very things you have to do to get through the day and provide for house and family and home, you are simultaneously knowing that you're sent by Jesus to go out into a world and to care and have compassion. Micah, he has told you, O man, what is good, to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. But I think I want to end this devotion with the words of Paul in Romans chapter 12. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's love for us, to offer our bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Offering this day and everything that we do in this day as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is worship. This is how men worship, by doing what they do, not for their own glory, for doing what they do to receive a blessing from God, to know that they're servicing in his kingdom. How do you do that? Do not be conformed. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of the kingdom of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. There it is. This is why we do these devotions every week. The goal is for us to transform our minds, get us set underneath the kingdom of God, get us set underneath God's love and his eternal truth, and get out there in that world today, do our job, do whatever it is we're called to do, but do it as a Christian, do it as someone who has the kingdom of God, that we are living this out. We're no longer conforming to the way the world does things, but we're doing things the way the kingdom of God was have us do them. What a blessing this would be in these crazy times that we're living in, that we would not act like they're acting, but we would act as Jesus would act, which is all about what we said in our message yesterday. And I encourage you to listen to the message if you missed it. But think about that this week, that we're not going to conform to the patterns of this world. We're going to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. We are going to press out into the world, and we're going to live a life just like everybody else has to live a life. Wake up in the morning, get dressed, go to work, do the things we have to do, but we're going to do them different. Not forgetting to do good to others, not forgetting to be Jesus to someone. All right, guys, that's what I have. I hope this devotion was a blessing to you. Have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.